is the mystery of God working through us, right? We just don't know sometimes if it's going to be smooth or bumpy. So we're going to try again. Meanwhile, have a sip of coffee or say an extra Om Namah Shivaya. Be grateful for the beautiful day.
Start our service this morning with Diane singing to us, God Bless America. Feel free to join in. This will be our meditation. From this, we will go directly into our flames of faith. Diane, please.
I'm going to share with you the verse to God Bless America, which is so beautiful and tender. And then please join me if you want. We're doing this in a very spiritual way this morning. While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free.
sing Anything, America, our home, our sweet home. We're going to, I just changed the order of service completely. But we will continue with the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. But fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light the candle for the Tao, honoring the path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light the candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light the candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light the candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light the candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light the candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light the candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of compliance with the will of God as the highest calling. We light the candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light the candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. As Reverend Judy lights the last candle, let it represent the path that brought you here this morning.
I invite you now to go within as we do an affirmative prayer. We join together now on that united field of pure loving God consciousness, recognizing, remembering, and knowing that there truly is only one life, that there's only one infinite intelligence, that there's only one glorious power, and this one, this beloved, this energy is God, Spirit, or whatever name you choose to call this divine energy. I know that all the qualities of God, the love, the joy, the adventure, nature, everything, lives and moves and expresses through each one of us. For we truly are the sacred love and the sacred activity of this beloved energy. We are the yin, the yang, timeless, spaceless. We are all the qualities of God expressing beautifully in this moment. So this morning I affirm and I decree that all is well, and that each one of us is here today on purpose. And we are alive and awake and aware of this presence that dwells within us and expresses through us. And today especially, we remember and we give so much gratitude for those brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers, spouses, friends, children, that have given their life for this freedom, so that we can be here today to speak our word, that we are free beings. And we're so grateful for them, for their ultimate sacrifice. And so this morning I know that all hearts are open and that we listen with our spiritual ears. We listen with so much love to Dr. Heather's message this morning, and we embody and embrace the wisdom and the inspiration. And so I place my words into divine mind, where they have already been created exactly as we believe. So my heart is full of gratitude, thanksgiving, and joy as we release and let go of this prayer, as we anchor it in love and in freedom. Please say with me, and so it is. And now we're going to say our declaration of principles. I believe in God, the one creative intelligence operating through the universe and operating throughout my entire being, now and always. I believe this perfect spirit operates upon a law of mind and creates my experience exactly according to my belief. I believe this perfect creative intelligence can be used by me and by every other person to produce health, abundance, and love in mind, body, and total life experience. I use it now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. And today's affirmation: I trust and allow the divine wisdom within me to guide my decisions and light my path. I listen to the still small voice within me now. I court the presence and follow the law. I am grateful for my life and for my country, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. And now it's my great pleasure to invite Jimmy Van to the piano, where he is going to sing a song that I asked him to prepare.
This is a song from Toy Story, and one of Dr. Heather's favorites, Randy Newman, You've Got a Friend. Rough ahead, and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed. because you got a friend in me. Yes, you've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Thank you so much, Jimmy. So my message this morning is making the path clear. And it's all about our spiritual work. It's all about listening. The whole month has been listening to the heart. And this is about listening to that still small voice that is God within us. God that is always supporting, always loving, always guiding, always protecting. God, the good that is for its creation, including our beautiful planet, including each and every one of us. So, this morning, what I know is that you're here on purpose, and that this wonderful Memorial Day is filled with such awareness, so many aha moments, insights. Making the path clear is an inside job. It is not something that happens out here, even though the path is out here and it begins within. So the first thing is to, while we've been sheltering at home, I talked about this last week, and I ask you again, are you making use of this precious time? Of this precious time, are you using what you know? Are you using the principles of science of mind, of love, and of intention? And are you listening to that voice of intuition that is so crystal clear when we just open our hearts and minds? I've been listening to Wayne Dyer's old meditations and his way of being, his messages. And I'm blessed because I saw him many, many years ago while I was still in Calgary, and I think also while I was in Edmonton. And our church had sponsored him, so I got to talk to him personally. He's exactly the same off camera as he is on. He's a person that's convinced that, I know he's made his transition, but he was convinced that the way to speak to audiences of ever-growing numbers is straight from the heart. It was always his heart you heard from Wayne. So that's one of the reasons I'm profoundly grateful for meeting him, hearing him, reading his wonderful books, and also for knowing that this is the truth. This is the truth, the golden thread of truth that Ernest Holmes says runs through all religions. And it is absolutely my truth that this thing itself is reliable. It's what awakened me in the first place when I was in my early 30s. There was an awareness that there was a greater something, an overarching something, an energy, and I called it God because that was what I knew, and actually that's what it called itself. So go figure, God it was. But it wasn't the God of my youth. It wasn't a God that kept track of every negative thought I've ever had. It wasn't a God that punished me for sins or rewarded me for good. It wasn't a God that was about a greater later. It was about a presence right now, in this very moment, that is dependable and reliable and absolutely loves each of you because it loves its creation as it loves itself. It is the essential message that Jesus gave. It was always the message Jesus gave. It is done unto you as you believe. The Father within doeth the work. That of yourself you can do nothing. So that's the real important reason. That's the first thing about making clear your path is don't go to the ego, where it might be about cars and this spouse or that spouse and money and titles. Go within to where you truly can hear that voice for God. And it always gives you the truth, the direction. There have been times in my life I didn't like it. I didn't want that direction. I would say, is there anyone else in there? But I knew it was my inner voice speaking to me. I didn't want to do several things. I certainly didn't want to shelter in place, and yet I knew it was the right thing for me to do, for us to do. And for me to go into my back bedroom and learn how to do this camera work all by myself with the help of some really wonderful people. And yet, it also was that voice for God that told me when I was in Bonita, my first center, that I would be leaving and going to a bigger center. I assumed it meant Calgary. It didn't. It didn't. I was completely a failure when I candidated in Calgary. You know, it's the way it works. It is the way it works. If it's not right for you, you will meet every obstacle imaginable. So what happened was they were so almost cocky with their planning, because they really wanted to get the right minister. And of course, Calgary was very big, and it was a very successful ministry. Carol Carnes was leaving at that time, and they wanted to attract just the right person. So they had maybe 30 or 40 people that applied, and they got that down to 5. And their plan was to have each of the people give a Sunday talk, a Saturday meeting with the board, a Sunday workshop, and that the talk and the workshop would be video recorded so anyone could borrow the video recording. It was way before this media, and it would be fair. Well, the day of the vote, I happened to be in Calgary. My family was still there, and one of the organizers came to me, and before I knew anything, he said, "I'm so sorry, Heather. I've been doing video work for over 20 years. This was the first time in those 20 years that my work, it didn't record. Your talk didn't record, your workshop didn't record. That was not the right answer. My logical mind said, oh, I'm going back. There are no palm trees in Canada. There's not one. And in my vision, my path, there were palm trees and ocean. So my logical mind said, well, you've had palm trees for 6 years. Maybe now you're going back into the Chinook country of Calgary. But it wasn't. It wasn't to be. What happened? I was heartbroken, of course. I thought I'd listened to the voice of God, and I'd been steered wrongly. I thought God had made a mistake, or my deep heart listening had been inaccurate. So I did what I encourage you to do when your heart is broken. Go on silent retreat. Go on silent retreat where nothing could disturb that beautiful calm and peace. And on silent retreat, it came to me to bloom where I was planted, to love those beautiful people in that wonderful center, which I did. And of course, I told them all that I was going to go to Calgary. And now I had to face the embarrassment of not being chosen. And that was fine. The retreat was so beautiful. I went to, my yogi friend got me into Self-Realization Fellowship for 3 days, which you're not supposed to be able to go if you're not a yogi. But anyway, I got in, I had a wonderful retreat, and then I went to another one, so I had 2 back-to-back, and I was at peace then. And that's a very big clue. Making clear your path requires it be made from that inner sense of peacefulness. So if I was filled with peace, and I was filled with looking forward to being with my friends there in that center, and I came back to a stack of mail. I had not been to the church, the center, came back to a big stack of mail. And the very top letter was a letter from Jackie Belzano, the former minister of this center, announcing her retirement. And that the church was currently in a candidating process. And as soon as I read her letter, I went, oh, that's the big church I'm supposed to go to. There are probably still palm trees right there in Southern California, in San Juan Capistrano. And so I got on the phone, I called Jackie, because we were friends. I said, I didn't know, is it too late for me to send my application in? And she said she didn't know, but I should give it a try. Well, the rest is history. That was what the Voice for God was telling me. It wasn't Calvary. So sometimes, because of our training, our context, our past ideas, we'll hear that, we'll have a big push from our intuition, from the presence of God within, and we'll misunderstand it. But once you go back and ask, what did I miss? What do I need to know? What was that message about? And patiently listen. You will be blessed. You will be blessed to find what the real answer was. So that's the first thing. Get still. Get still. And listen to that voice for God. Listen to that push within you that no matter how much your spouse or your children or your parents love you, that is pure love and unconditionally loves you. Just as it intends for you to unconditionally love all other beings. The spider was challenging me this morning. So he wouldn't get out of my sink. But he's still in there, I suspect, because I wasn't going to kill him. I was remembering all sentient beings. We bless all sentient beings. I could have just moved him out into the outside. But of course, my kittens would have really liked to have played with him, and wouldn't have been very loving of me either. So that's point number one, get still. Point number two, court the presence of God. Those of you who are in relationship, think back to what that courting was like. What I know in courting the presence, when we're courting or being courted, all of our nerve endings are vitally alive. We're ready. We're open. There's a receptivity within us. We're expecting something wonderful. It might be that touch on the hand that sparked the whole thing. It might be a kiss, but there is something. So we court this presence. However you courted your significant other, if you're in relationship, think of that and think of your willingness at that time to be patient until the answer really was yes. Get in touch with that place within you that you're willing to court the presence. You're willing to take as much time as you need in order for this presence to truly make itself known to you. As you know, I've been praying with Aiden every day, and Aiden is such a good practitioner. And he was telling me that when we started doing this, his spiritual mind treatments changed. He didn't intend them to change, but they changed because he started, just like Ernest did often, he started saying, there's a power for good that is within me, that loves me, that provides for me, is moving through me. He individualized that and made that unification step so real, so present. Be willing to court that presence. And when it feels like you can't hear that voice, do something that allows you to get still and hear in the silence. Hear in the silence. Court that presence. Okay, what are you courting the presence for? Well, I think we're courting the presence so that we can be directed to the right choices, the right life for us. Every one of us has a calling. Each of them is different. What is it that you are longing for? What is your calling? What is it that you're longing for in terms of your expression in the world, in terms of your livelihood, your compensation? I know several of you have been furloughed or your wages have been cut. Wayne Dyer always says, congratulations. Good, that's good. If you have lost a job, ask yourself, did you really love that job? Is there something else that you could do as well or better? Is there something else that is calling you to express through you? That's the ask. That's the ask of this. And once you are clear, once your vision is clear. So for me, my vision was way before ministry. Way before ministry, when I touched that hand of God, the energy of love, when I awakened to that, I was a little crazy at the time. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to be in communication with this presence. And then as I thought, well, how will my life change? In many ways, I said, it won't change much at all. I'll continue teaching. I'll have a nice pension. I'll retire here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada in 30 years or 40 years. That didn't happen because that wasn't what I was being called to do. I've told you this before, but you can access that deep part of you in so many ways. In a guided visualization, I saw myself living where there are palm trees. And I knew I was a minister. I knew I was ministering to people because I saw these people coming. I was celebrating a birthday, and I was way older than I am now, so I guess I'm not done yet. I was celebrating a birthday, and people were coming to my home to thank me for helping them change their lives. Many of them said for saving my life. But it really, what I understood it to mean was for giving them back a relationship with the divine, for helping them see that this thing is within them. During this time, and I'm quite aware of the President's command that we go back to meeting in person, and we're working on it. I'm not going to jump into doing anything. So part of what I'm listening for these days is how to reopen our center. How to make it safe for everyone who wants to come. How to make it feel like it always felt here. Because what we know here is we have a community. Why I asked Jamie to start with that wonderful song is because, first of all, it's a happy song, and it reminds me of Toy Story 3 or 2, whichever was the first one I heard it in, which I loved. I love all of those Toy Story movies. There's a lot of wisdom. All of you adults that haven't watched them, there's a lot of wisdom in those movies. And the first friend is God in you. So it's God in you singing to you. You've got a friend in me. You've got a friend in me. And this presence is joy, it's delight, it's freedom, it's life itself. So, the reason why I'm saying these things, so first of all, you get quiet, you court that presence, you feel that presence within you, then you set your intention. You look through your inner eye and see the vision for your life, the vision for your perfect health, the vision for your right work, your vision for your right compensation, the vision for your right community, all of the aspects of your life, your vision for your right travel, the right hobbies, all of the things that make up your life. But don't do it from this place of ego, where you might be influenced by our media, our advertising industry, that, oh yeah, I really love that Tesla. Well, I really would love a Tesla. It'd be good for the environment. Do I need a Tesla? No. That isn't part of my divine purpose. But some of you I know drive Teslas, and congratulations, for all sorts of reasons. So what I want you to realize is when you're listening to that voice within you, the ideas that come to you are going to be right for you. And they're going to be right for all the people in your world. That means your children. That means your spouse. It means your parents or grandparents. Everyone will be blessed when you are true to you. When it's you, when you have listened to that voice in you, and you know that Holy Spirit in you has made a profound declaration. I'm working on that. I'm going to send out to all of you a couple of surveys. The one I really want you to get and return is about how you feel about getting back here. And I want you to be as honest as you can be, because otherwise I can't be of assistance. Some of the questions will be, yes, I'll be back immediately. Or B, I'm going to take my time before I go back. I want to make sure everybody stays healthy. Or C, I found something else that feeds my soul. Or D, my friends are not going back, so I'm not going back. It doesn't matter what it is, but we can't assist in this unless we have some information from you. Will it look different? Yes. Our sanctuary will look different. It'll still be this place. Today there are 4 of us here, and it's the perfect number. But we really, my intention is in the long vision. And I'm going to Christmas Eve of 2021, in case we can't do it in 2020. I want to see this place packed. I want us to be so feeling secure and safe and loving toward one another that we wouldn't be anywhere else. But until that time, we're going to make changes. There's going to be space. There's going to be the kind of social distance space. I'm going to likely encourage you to wear face coverings. And our music program, which is so important to us, we will continue to have our wonderful Diane King Band and our, when he's able, Jimmy Band to come. He has a job himself Sunday mornings, most mornings. But what will it look like? We have to look at all of the guidelines, or we want to look at all of the guidelines that have been sent out, and to make wise decisions. So nothing's being made out of fear. If we do social distancing, it isn't because I'm afraid of people. It's because I love people. And I want everyone who enters this place, whether you come in virtually like you're doing today, or whether you're here in person like the four of us are, I want you to know that you're safe here. That this is a place that has practiced all of the things that we need to practice to have a safe, sanitized, welcoming, beautiful home. Memorial Day. I wanted to talk just a brief bit, and this, I was going to do the meditation on this, and I want the service to be timely, so I skipped the part of the meditation. When we listen to the wonderful lyrics of God Bless America, we see that, yes, sometimes we're called to war, dark clouds gather. Right now, our president has said that we are at war with this COVID-19 virus. So when you think about that, and you think all of the beautiful people, all of the people in service, we usually get them to stand, the people that served our country in any of the wars, and we acknowledge them, the survivors, even though we're really aware of the people who gave their lives for this country. So this Memorial Day, I invite you to consider all of the National Guard, all of the people that have been in support, all of the nurses, the doctors, the workers in the hospitals that have put their lives on the line to be in service, all of the grocery clerks, all of the clerks, the cashiers, the people who are in those businesses that we depend upon, and then let's not forget the garbage disposal people. All of those people are heroes. And some of those people have lost their lives to this invader. Let it not be you. Let you stay safe and sound this Memorial Day. And as you look at the flag this Memorial Day, may it mean to you what it has meant to so many others, that this country stands for freedom, it stands for choice, and it stands for good. I used to be an alien, and now I'm an American citizen too. But I can tell you that Canadians always have held, maybe until recently, and I don't mean this administration, always have held Americans in very high regard and esteem. Our closest neighbor. And I was so overjoyed to be able to find a place to live here, to serve here, to work here. This truly is my home right now, and I'm so grateful for it, for our freedoms. The path is made clear when we all do our work. So please fill in those forms when you get them, the survey when you get it. And please tell the truth. I'm really looking forward to see you when you are ready to be seen in person. We're a wonderful community. I'm so grateful for each one, and so it is. And now I'm going to pray, and Diane's going to accompany me. In this holy moment of right now, I remind myself of the truth of life, that life is that first cause of all creation. Life is that presence and power that is divine mind everywhere present. Life is the actor and the action and activity. Life is nature and the beauty that we see in the mountains, in the ocean, in the deserts, in the prairies, life is right here, right now. And I'm speaking this word in the first person for each one of us. What I know with all my heart and soul is I am one with that presence. And that presence is for me. It's a presence for good, a power for good. And it guides and uplifts and inspires. I know that I can make a difference if I am in my home or if I'm in my spiritual center. If I'm in the grocery store, I'm making a difference. I'm making a difference whether my face is covered with my mask or whether I'm barefaced. I'm making a difference because I know who I am. And I know that that knowing means I know who everyone else is. I know that each and every one is in my life on purpose, with purpose. That each and every one is making a contribution to life by being. And every point of view is valued and valuable. I speak this word that having listened to that stilled voice, having courted the presence, I give up my relationship with the absence, with the problems, with the issue. I give up my relationship with the fear. I am free from it because it is a no thing. I give up my relationship with anything that doesn't resemble the good, the God that is the truth of me. And I embrace all of those things that are good for me. I embrace health. I embrace financial freedom. I embrace prosperity. I embrace joy. I embrace fellowship and community. I embrace this community. And so I know for each and every one, as I know for myself, right now all is well, and all shall be well. I'm so very grateful for knowing what I know. It's complete, it's done, I release it to law, and so it is. Thank you, Diane. It's now time for us to share our gifts, our tithes, our offerings. This is a time to remind yourself that circulation is really important, that stagnation is deadly. Think of a pond that doesn't have any flow, and it becomes a pretty big mess pretty quickly if there's not both an in-source and an out-source. So circulation is important. And we can circulate so many things. We can circulate our love, we can circulate our kindness, we can circulate our consideration for everyone. We can circulate our good. And today, I give thanks in advance for any gifts you give to the Center for Spiritual Living, Capistrano Valley. If you're writing a check, you can actually mail it here. If you're going online to our website, which is the only place right now that we have to donate, on our website, you will be paying by PayPal. It doesn't matter. We're so grateful for your givingness of spirit. We're so grateful for your choice to support your center. We're so grateful for the good that this money does, and it does do good. So with my heart filled with gratitude, and to say thank you in advance. And for this time of circulation, Jimmy Van is going to play a beautiful song that you know and love. Jimmy.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, and I've watched them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Thank you, Jimmy. That is so beautiful. We're going to close with the peace song, and I'm going to, and I want to encourage you to do two things. When you finish listening to the peace song, and Diane's going to close with a wonderful patriotic song, then go to your Zoom account and tune in to the Coffee and Conversation. Just imagine that we're here and we're having our coffee together. And then if you wish, you can also stop by the prayer room and get a prayer that's just made for you. So, Diane, let's It has begun with me. We are here together. Have a wonderful, safe, and happy Memorial Day. And so it is.